Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Robert's Train Set. As you saw in the pictures that you've just seen, it's not strictly true. I did have some trains, ones that I really wanted. If you saw my Meet the Fleet video, the latent missing type of engine train were DMUs or EMUs or anything remotely resembling any of those. So I really wanted them. I looked at Rails of Sheffield and they were selling Bachmann 101s, Southeast livery, as you saw in those pictures, with sound, as I always get, and passengers inside, and obviously a full range of digital components, including lights. So the story is, you saw the box and the unpacking and excited, put them on the track. First thing that happened is, as soon as I turned the power onto the track, one set shot off forwards and one set shot off backwards round the track, uncontrolled, because I didn't have Rail Master actually on the computer at the time, or not set up. So really confusing. So anyway, sorted it out and tried them on 03, which is what they come as, obviously, and everything worked except the lights. Both sets. So both sets, i.e. out of two individual complete boxes, the lights didn't work straight out the box. Otherwise, lovely. So as you can imagine, got in touch with Rails of Sheffield and explained. I even had them on the layout, showed all the sounds and everything that they ran, over the phone obviously, and send them back. So I sent them back. And if you notice in the pictures, I also had a middle carriage, a southeast region middle carriage. In my lack of experience of some DCC ways of working, I naively thought I could put a carriage in between the motor car and the train car and have a free car DMU. Silly me. As I'm sure the experienced modelers will know, when you have a power car and a train car, in this particular instance, you need an electrical connection to make the lights work in the trading car. So when you stick a carriage between that's got no electrical contacts, it wouldn't work anyway, even if the lights had have worked. So I agreed with Rails of Sheffield I would return those along with the defective units, and they would swap them for a carriage with the lights and everything that I explained in my last video. I will show you it later on in this video. And again, as you can see, after I stopped talking, it all started again. So we got a delivery of the box and everything, and the new carriage. And well, basically the same thing happened, except it was slightly different this time. First of all, when I put the units on the rail, they didn't shoot off, and as I said with the first ones, I tried them with setting 3, which is what they come with, and hey presto, the lights worked. Great, I thought. So put them on my programming track, did the first one, number 40 I decided it was going to be called. Put the number in, that's all I did, nothing else, just change the number, put it back on the track, no lights. Everything else, great, no lights. Did the same with the second one, number 50, exactly the same again, no lights. So why did they work out the box on number 3, and then the minute I changed the number, they didn't work? It's, well, to me it's a mystery. I've asked Rails of Sheffield to sort of see if they worked on their layout. I mean, it might be something to do with the Rail Master, but I don't see why, because I've got a Bachmann 47 that you've seen going around the track, And this new carriage that has got a decoder in it for the lights, that works perfectly well. So I don't think it's Bachmann. My assumption is that they've got a whole batch of funny decoders. You know, Bachmann have put, not probably their fault, but because if you think about it, I've had 4 complete sets of this rail car that haven't had any, the lights have failed. So I'd be interested to see if I hear anything. If either Bachmann or Hornby see this video and would like to comment on it, I'd be interested. I mean, it might be my system, I don't know, but you know, it's strange that all the others work, so really strange. So I've got no trains, that's why I called it that. But I have, rather than get a refund, I have bought some new things instead of the rail cars, which I will show you after you've seen the next set of photographs. So for the now, just have another look at the photographs. I know you've seen lots of parcels, but there we are. And I shall come back to you afterwards with my new acquisitions. Goodbye. See you later on. Bye. Well, hello everybody. This is quite a few weeks after my last talk, and a lot's happened. You notice over on the layout, some of the trains have changed to what was up at the beginning, and the eagle-eyed of you might even spot some of the new stuff, including something that shouldn't be there. At the beginning I had the name of this video, and then straight after there was another caption screen with 2 big question marks. You might be wondering what that means. Well, I needed to put something in to signify that not all was as the first title said. So, very quickly, the last lot of parcel you saw unwrapped was the new set of DMUs plus the new carriage, which is running around on the layout, plus and we know that they were sent back because again they didn't work. I contacted Rails of Sheffield and spoke to Craig, one of their, I assume, shop workers or technical people. And he said when he got the 2 cars back, the second lot, one set didn't work at all, and the other set, when he set it back to 3, did, with the lights. So he asked me whether I would like to try again, which I was a bit dubious about, as you can imagine. But what I said to him was, could you set the set that will come to me for number 40, which is what I'm going to run it on my layout. So he agreed to that, and he did it. And I had another phone call from him, and he's been really useful, really helpful, and really wanted me to have this deal. So he said, yes, I've set it, but it took him 3 goes. And bearing in mind he's using Bachmann's control system as opposed to the Hornby, he said I had to keep resetting and then do it, and then he got it working. So he sent it with my new acquisitions that I was going to replace the diesel rail units with, you know, not get the refund, which are on the layout, which I'll show you in a minute. And he sent them to me, or sent the one set. I put it on the layout. I'd already preset the control system to 40, put it on, guess what? No lights. Didn't work. So went to bed. Well, I phoned him up and said, you know, perhaps we could get in contact with Batman or Hornby or both to see if they got any comments, you know. And I went to bed, and in the morning I decided he'd had to reset his logos. Now with DCC you can reset the decoder to the factory setting. You put 8 into, I think, number 8, something like that, which you can't normally do. It will come up and tell you that you can't put anything in, but you can reset it. So I did that. So it then resets to 3, and if you remember from the first lot, or sorry, the second lot, the lights did work on 3 until I reset the number. So reset it to 3 and put it on the layout, ran it on 3, and hey presto, the lights worked. So you can see it behind me running round with the lights on. I've turned all the sound off because otherwise I'm having to shout even more than I do. And it's running, and I've left it at 3. Whatever. Obviously couldn't have 2 sets because they'd have to both run at 3. So it's still a mystery as to why it won't take a new number. Craig did ask me whether I'd try to get it, you know, I'll try to get it back on 40. And I thought, I've got him working, I'm going to leave it as it is. So there we are. We have trains running. And if you see, you're going to have now another set of pictures of new stuff arriving, and then I will show you some more close-ups of what's come. Okay, anyway, great fun this train railway running, isn't it? Absolutely great fun. There's never a dull moment. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the next bit of this. So here's the first one, the Flying Scotsman. I've got a Flying Scotsman, Hornby Flying Scotsman. Put in a rake of Mark II carriages, which it might well do on a rattle. This particular Flying Scotsman is the one held at the National Rail Museum in York. So that's this. And here coming up is our little diesel rail unit, the 101 unit, in Network South East livery with the lights working. Hooray! And the next on the scene, and I don't know whether Flying Scotsman will beat it, is going to almost meet the middle. My Daypole 68, which you've already seen, and this is really what I swapped for the rail units that I didn't have going. I thought I needed some container wagons, so I bought 2 doubles and 2 singles Backman. Very fiddly putting the containers on with the little catches. They're crazy. You have to. It's so small. It's unbelievable. And I've got fairly big fingers, so how people do engage, I do not know. So on the back of the Flying Scotsman train is the DBSO carriage, and if I slightly pan to one side, if I don't get the freight liner in the way, you will see the red lights on the back. Now when you run it backwards, you have headlights, simply by changing the direction of the carriage. I've had some problems with the container ones. They seem very tight. I mean, I've got second radius, third radius, and probably that's about it. I don't think I've got any fourth radius. I think they're supposed to run on second radius, but it does seem rather tight. You can feel a little bit of resistance, you know. And I did actually run them with Flying Scotsman, and it was definitely slowing down as they were being dragged round the middle bend, you know, the second radius. So this is my 101 diesel rail car in Southeast delivery, the one that's caused all the problems. And obviously not only has it got lights, it's also got sound. And here it goes starting up. And what I like about these is, you may or may not know that this type of diesel rail unit, the engine, the diesel engine did actually drive the wheels. So similar to a car, it had a gearbox and you have to change gear. So I shall get this running round and you'll hear it be put into gear, and then if I bring it round quite quickly round, hopefully we'll hear it change gear. And I love it, it's really good. It reminds me, I used to go on these from Paddington, not in this livery obviously. They used to do mystery tours, rail mystery tours, and I went on quite a few, and you can sit at the front and look out the front window, you know, just behind the driver there, and it was great fun. I really enjoyed it. Went all the way to Western-super-Mare on quite a few of them, or Wales. They were really good value. I really enjoyed it. Right, let's get this started. So as you heard there, yes, it changed gear just as it went past the camera. It was a bit of fun trying to get it to do that. So I really like it. You can't really see the lights much. Obviously, I think the headlights are really quite feeble, but if I reverse the direction of travel, the actual tail lights are quite bright red. So I really enjoyed this. I'm really pleased that I've got this on the layout. All the hassle required to get it is well worth it. In the background you can see the A1 locomotive Tornado, and I'm going to bring into shot my A3 Flying Scotsman. So here we are, the A3, the Flying Scotsman. Better get it all in, hadn't we? And again, this obviously has sound, as all my locos except one has. So we'll put the sound on for you. So I've wanted the Flying Scotsman for a while. It is obviously the more expensive type of Hornby as opposed to the Tornado, which is the railroad version. The extras on this obviously are pickups in the tender, and I thought it might perform a bit better than my other A1s. It doesn't stall at the points. I still have trouble with the front bogies derailing. Running around the track, it's been fine. But you try and get it to do anything too much on the points, and sometimes it will derail. Not every time, it's really strange. But I'm glad I've got it. I think every layout should have a Flying Scotsman. As I said, this one's in preservation at the National Railway Museum in York, and they obviously do run it. Hopefully it will be appearing on the layout from time to time. But I think it's a fair substitute for one of my DMUs. So I could pull the train forward and show you the carriage at the back, the driving carriage. So, here is my driving brake second open. As you can see, it's got cab windows at the front or the back, and at the moment obviously showing me. I will turn off the bright lights so that you can see the lights better. So hopefully in the gloom you can see the passenger compartment is lit, and the tail lights are glowing red. If we wanted to go backwards, which I don't think the Flying Scotsman ever would have done, but if you wanted to go backwards, you can put the cab lights on. So the driver can now see what he's doing, and obviously he's going forwards, so he needs some headlights, doesn't he? See where he's going. And if he needs to sort out the luggage or the freight in the parcel compartment, you can have some light for that as well. So there we are, all lit up, controlled by Hornby, but obviously it is a Bachmann carriage. And there have been videos on this, so I won't go too long. I've gone too long already probably, but there we are. So I'm pleased to have this on the thing. The problem it caused when I want to go backwards with either the Bachmann 47 or the Daypole is that my Bachmann buffet, well, bar carriage, which is a Mark 1 rather than Mark 2, kept causing derailments because all the other carriages except for this Bachmann back one are Hornby, so there are issues sometimes, and yes, I had a lot of anguish with it derailing. So at the moment that's in the cupboard. Anyway, this is about it now, and I shall just Get the trains running a little bit for you.